All right, let's dive into one of history's greatest puzzles, the Egyptian pyramids. But we're going to look at them through the eyes of one of the most brilliant and maybe misunderstood minds ever, Nikola Tesla. His ideas about them, well, they were out there, but they just might change the way you see these incredible ancient structures forever.
I mean, just think about the Great Pyramid of Giza for a second. We're talking about a structure that weighs nearly 6 million tons. It's made of over 2 million stones, and they're cut and fitted together with a precision that still blows the minds of our best engineers today. For literally thousands of years, it was the tallest thing on the entire planet, built by human hands.
So you end up with these huge questions that people have been asking for centuries. And honestly, the usual answers, they just don't quite seem to measure up to the sheer scale of the mystery, you know? But what if the whole reason for building it was way, way bigger than we ever dared to imagine?
And that's exactly where Nikola Tesla comes into the picture. This is the man whose inventions pretty much laid the foundation for all of our modern technology. And he was absolutely fascinated by the pyramids. He was convinced they held some kind of powerful secret. And, given his track record, maybe it's time we gave his ideas a serious look.
So, let's get right to it. What was the Great Pyramid really for? The textbook answer has always been pretty straightforward, but the evidence, or really the lack of it, hints at a much, much deeper story.
So you've got two completely different stories here. On one side, the mainstream view, it's a tomb for a pharaoh built somewhere around 2500 BC. But on the other side, you have this idea that it's actually a message meant for all of humanity with a core structure that's thousands of years older than the pharaohs. One thing is for sure, it was definitely not just a tomb.
And this brings us right back to Tesla. See, he wasn't really interested in tombs. He was interested in energy. We're talking about limitless, free energy pulled straight from the planet itself.
So back in 1905, Tesla actually filed this patent. He saw our planet, Earth, as this giant electrical generator just spinning away between two magnetic poles. And he was absolutely convinced that we could tap into that energy. And what's wild is that the towers he designed for his system, they looked an awful lot like pyramids.
But here's where Tesla's thinking took a really fascinating turn. Yeah, the pyramid shape is super efficient for channeling energy. But Tesla started to believe that the real secret, it wasn't the geometry of the building. No, it was all about the geography. It was about where it was built.
So here's the key takeaway. Tesla came to the conclusion that the Giza site wasn't just some random spot in the desert. It was chosen because of its exact relationship to the planet's own energy field. And he was so sure about this, he actually built his own experimental power stations based on the exact same principles, all in pursuit of his ultimate dream, wireless power for the entire globe.
But Tesla's fascination didn't stop with just energy. Oh no. He believed the pyramids were also part of a secret code, a language of numbers that could explain the very fabric of our universe.
And it's hard to overstate just how deep this obsession went. I mean, the guy would apparently drive around a city block 3 times before he'd go into a building. He'd use 18 napkins to clean his dinner plates. He saw these numbers everywhere, and to him, they weren't just numbers, they were a fundamental law of the universe that we didn't invent, but that we discovered.
Okay, so to understand this code, we first need to get our heads around something called the precession of the equinoxes. The easiest way to think about it is like a spinning top. You know how when a top starts to slow down, it begins to wobble? Well, the Earth does the same thing, just incredibly slowly. And that slow wobble changes our entire view of the stars over huge stretches of time.
And just how long does one full wobble take? A great year, as the ancients called it? 25,920 years. That's how long it takes for the night sky to go through one full cycle and return to where it started. You're going to want to remember that number.
And here's how that massive number breaks down. The most important number, the fundamental rhythm, or the heartbeat of this whole cosmic cycle, is 72. Every 72 years, the constellations shift just 1 single degree across the sky. And all the other numbers in this huge celestial clock, they're all just multiples of 72.
All right, now let's throw another number into the mix. At first glance, 43,200 might seem completely random. But trust me, this is the key that unlocks the pyramid's biggest, most incredible secret.
This is just astounding. If you take the exact measurements of the Great Pyramid, its height, its base perimeter, and you multiply them by 43,200, you get the precise dimensions of our planet Earth. It's not just a building, it's a scale model of our world, hiding its measurements in plain sight for any civilization advanced enough to figure it out.
So why that number? Why 43,200?
Well, it is anything but random. It is directly connected to that 72-year heartbeat of our planet's wobble. You see, 43,200 is 600 times 72. So the scale they use to map the Earth is literally defined by a key motion of the Earth itself. It's just an incredibly beautiful and self-contained system.
And here it is. This is the big payoff that brings it all back to Tesla's obsession. If you take all these vital numbers, the precession numbers, the pyramid scale factor, and you add up their individual digits, they all reduce down to 9. So for 72, you add 7 plus 2, you get 9. For 2,160, you add 2 plus 1 plus 6 plus 0, you get 9. It's like the pyramid and the universe itself are speaking in Tesla's favorite secret code.
And you know what? The code doesn't just stop with the numbers. These very same ideas are woven into the oldest myths of humanity, stories of gods and wise sages who bring knowledge to a world that's been wiped out by some great catastrophe.
I mean, just look at the parallels here. In ancient Sumeria, you have the sage Oannes, this figure who comes out of the water dressed like a fish, carrying a mysterious bag. Then, thousands of miles away in Egypt, you have gods associated with rebirth, like Osiris, carrying the Ankh symbol. The source we're looking at suggests these aren't separate myths, but different cultural memories of the same group of ancient teachers, trying to preserve knowledge through the ages.
Some theories take this idea even further. There's one researcher mentioned in our source, Anton Parks, who claims the pyramid wasn't just a monument or a message board. He says it was a machine, a functional device built by the goddess Isis that used genetic information and cosmic alignments to literally resurrect her dead husband, Osiris.
So, okay, let's pull all of these threads together. You've got Tesla's energy theories, you've got these incredible cosmic numbers, you have these ancient myths from all over the world. What is the Great Pyramid actually trying to tell us?
It's speaking a language, but not with words. It's a silent, universal language of math and astronomy. It's a map of our planet. It's a clock that tracks the 25,920-year Great Year. It's part of a global system. I mean, it's no coincidence that the temple complex at Angkor is exactly 72 degrees of longitude east of Giza. And maybe, just maybe, it's an instrument designed to work on us, to elevate our consciousness, and remind us where we fit in the grand scheme of the cosmos. Think about it. The pyramid has been sitting there for thousands and thousands of years. It was built to survive any cataclysm, just waiting for a civilization to come along that could finally crack its code. So the question really isn't whether the message is real. The question is, are we, right now, finally ready to listen?